Siya was almost home by evening after returning from the university. When she arrived home, she first requested Leela G to make some tasty snacks for her. Then she went to her room to freshen up. When she came down a little later, she could smell something delicious coming from the kitchen. So she headed straight to the kitchen. There, Leela G was making a sandwich for Siya while discussing the dinner preparations with the cook. Alongside, there was a glass of Siya's favorite milkshake. Seeing this, Siya went over to them, sat on the kitchen counter, and excitedly told them about everything that had happened throughout the day while munching on a piece of sandwich. Leela G and everyone working there were very happy listening to her. They were occasionally asking about the university, and Siya was answering all their questions very well. After chatting for a while, Siya picked up her glass of shake and stepped outside. She looked around and asked a servant about Manav. The servant told her, since Manav arrived, he has been working in the study room. Hearing this, Siya nodded her head and headed straight to the study room. Opening the door to the study room, she entered like a kitten. She tiptoed and looked around. Then she noticed a large table in front of her, covered with many files and a laptop. The sound of typing was continuously reaching her ears. Manav was quickly typing on the keyboard, sitting in his normal shirt and pants. The top 2 buttons of his shirt were undone, and he was typing something on the computer rapidly. Siya just kept watching him. Then she thought to herself, maybe this logic is somewhat true, that whenever a handsome man works with full focus, he looks even more handsome. Siya was just admiring him when Manav, without taking his eyes off the computer, said, "Darling, what do you want?" Hearing this, Siya was startled at first. Then she walked over to him, sat on the same table, and said, "Don't you get tired? You were working in the car this morning, then worked at the office, and now you're doing something on the laptop again?" Taking his hand in hers, she held his fingers and turned them over to look at them. Then she said, "Doesn't it hurt to say? You keep torturing this keyboard all the time. At least have some mercy on the keyboard." Yes, you were rambling, but Manav's attention was only on his hands, which Siya was holding. With her delicate hands, she was gently massaging his fingers. Such actions made Kabir's heart race, but that foolish girl didn't understand it at all. Seeing this, Manav closed his laptop, shifted a little, and placed her right in front of him. He held her waist with both hands and stayed like that. Initially, Siya was startled, but then she composed herself and sat there. Then Manav asked, "Why did you come here? Is there something?" To which Siya, scratching her forehead with a finger, said, "In the process of talking to you, I completely forgot." Then she extended her milkshake glass towards Manav and asked, "Do you want to drink?" Hearing this, Manav glanced at the glass and then at Siya. He noticed a little milkshake smeared on her lips, which Siya had carelessly gotten on her face while drinking. Seeing this, Manav reached out, gently pressed his thumb on her lips to clean it. This action sent a different shiver through Sia's entire body. She didn't realize this feeling, but it was very different and strange. She couldn't understand why her body was reacting this way just from Manav's touch. But after a while, she composed herself and offered her glass to Manav. Manav glanced at her lips again, then lightly licked the thumb that had just touched Sia's soft pink lips. This action made Sia's face unknowingly turn red. Her heart raced, and she began to feel a different kind of restlessness. Sia was a bit confused and felt a little strange. Seeing the expressions on her face, Manav withdrew his hands, sat properly in his chair, and asked her, "How was your day? Did you face any problems, or did someone bother you?" Hearing his question, Sia's attention immediately shifted away from those things. Trying to hide her excitement, she said, "Grumpy, what do you think? Do I look like a little girl who would be bothered by anyone? I can handle it my way." And as for how my day went, it went well. But in some lectures, I was really bored because there were some things you had already taught me, and the method they use, is very different and confusing. But the way you taught me, no matter how much it was completely easy to understand. That's why, honestly, I was feeling sleepy in that one lecture, hearing her words he wanted to because of Manav Bajaj's methods. Listening to her, Sia made a funny face and then said, "If you have praised yourself enough, then quickly go and freshen up. We will have dinner together, and I also have some homework to do today." Saying this, she shifted a little, got down from the table, and started to head outside. When she reached the door, she turned back and said, "And yes, beware, Grumpy. If you sit back down with that laptop again, I'm telling you, come down quickly, or I will set your study room on fire in a day." Hearing her words and childish threat, Manav stared at her and said in his cool, emotional voice, "Don't you think your courage has increased a lot these days? Or has the fear of me disappeared from within you?" Hearing this, Sia said with attitude, "Remember, I never fear anyone. And as for the price, what is that? No, I live with a grumpy man right now, which is why I don't need to fear anyone. I can cut anything, but that grumpy man will fill it all." Saying this, she smiled and quickly ran out of the study room. And at her cute actions and words, a small smile appeared on Manav's face, which quickly disappeared. Manav sat for a while, thinking about his actions. At that moment, there were very different and friendly emotions on his face, which were impossible to understand. Then, after closing his eyes and thinking for a while, he stood up from his place and went to his room to freshen up. Because truly, after bringing Sia, he had come straight here to finish his remaining work. Do let me know in the comments how you like the story, and don't be stingy in commenting. And one more thing, here's a little hint for you. Something big is going to happen at the university tomorrow. You all tell me what is going to happen. Until then, bye.